Hello, and welcome to my rules explanation slash walkthrough playthrough of Eclipse New Dawn for the Galaxy. This game is, it's a bit of a beast. It's kind of like a baby Twilight Imperium, so it's not an 8-hour-long space opera. It is still a 4X game, which we will get into in more detail once we start playing what that entails. The idea of the game is that each player is a different species that is kind of converging on this ancient knowledge. It kind of gives me a bit of a Mass Effect feel, like a first Mass Effect. We won't talk about Andromeda. Oh, I'm so edgy. I didn't like Andromeda. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So let's go ahead and start a local game. We're going to play a 3-player game. I am going to be playing the role of human player. Now here in the sort of species selection, color selection page, we have, you'll notice that each color has kind of an alien avatar as well as a representative from Earth, basically. A Terran somebody. Terran Republic, Terran Directorate, Terran Federation, Terran Alliance, Terran Union. They are all, basically, they all have the same powers. They all have the same abilities. The only difference is the color of their influence on the board. The corresponding non-human creature is a different species, and each species has species-specific powers that will affect, will allow them to break some rule of the game or modify some rule of the game in order to make things either easier or more beneficial in a way. Now, my default way of choosing in person is a random. I will take any random group. Probably these guys are my least favorite, but that doesn't matter. When I'm choosing, for some reason in the digital port it doesn't let you randomize, so we'll be choosing for ourselves, and then I have a D10 and a D4 that I will use to select the other two species. Now, my default choices are usually going to be anyone who presents as female, or is a witch, or is super fertile, and that's why we're going to go with plants today. So we're going to play the planta, and I'm going to go ahead and roll my D10 to see which of the remaining 4, so that'll be Iridani. And we'll roll a D4 for the last one, and we got a 3. 1, 2, 3. The Machinima. Fabulous. So, these are the people, well, you know what I mean. The creatures that we'll be playing in this game of Eclipse. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to take a look. The first thing we're going to see is our turn order. And you notice that we're going second. This is our turn order. Now, turn order is a little different in this game in that whoever passes first is going to go first in the next round, but it doesn't then go, the second person to pass is going to go second. It goes clockwise from that person. So that can be a little bit frustrating. If you pass second, but the person to your right, no, the person to your left passed first, you're going to end up going last anyway. So let's dissect the screen a little bit. We'll see the screen 8 more times. There are 9 rounds in the game. Winner is whoever has the most victory points at the end of the round. You'll notice under each of these species there is a little parallelogram that's got a shield and a number in it. The shield is always going to represent victory points. I have a straight 4 victory points. Machinima has a straight 3. Now, Iridani's got this range, and we'll talk about how you can get a range of victory points when we get into the game proper. Now, down here, we have the new technologies available this round. When we explain the research track, when I talk about the research track, we'll talk about how this affects things and what each of these means. But I'm not too worried about it right now. What I want to do first, because we're going to go second, I want to let Iridani take their turn, and then they're researching and they're taking that guy. Cool. Okay, and then we will go ahead and now it is our turn. So let's take a look at the board here. This is the galaxy. This is the middle, clearly. We are over here, and you see Eridani went first, and then we're going clockwise from them. And that will affect turn order in the future, based on, like I said, whoever passes first. I'm just stuck on this turn order business. So let's begin with a little tour of our own little hex in the galaxy. The components of a hex are going to be planets that can be exploited. Oh, that brings us to our first X in 4X games, right? We have explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. So the exploit aspect of this game comes from these planets that we will either exploit. I can't think of a better word. We will mine for materials if it's a green planet, and that is represented up here on this track. Or we'll research on the planet, which is represented on the science track, and you notice the colors correspond. Or, I don't know, well, economics. I know that's not a verb, but speculate? I don't know. On money planets, or planet monies, if you're an NPR fan. Let's talk a little bit about these tracks while we are on the subject of the planets and how that exploitation is going to positively affect our species. Inside the colored octagon that corresponds to each resource type, that tells you how many of that resource type you can have in storage, how many you've produced, how many you actually physically have on hand. Over here, you start with this one full, so everybody's going to be producing 2 of everything no matter what, no matter if they have any planets for them or not. And for each additional planet that matches the color of that resource type, another one of these will light up. And you notice that the numbers up top, they go up by 1, and then they start increasing by 2, and then up here they're increasing by 3, and then this one goes up by 4. So you can be making a fair amount if you get a good amount of planets to exploit. So since we have 1 orange economics planet, we've gone up 1 here. So at the end of the turn, during production, during the end of the round, during production, we will be making 3 more money, and 3 more science, and 3 more materials, because we have 1 of each kind of planet. So that's what that means. Now, each planet is going to have, now there's a 4th type of planet. Let's start with that. And it's this sort of white planet up here. This planet is wild. You can choose what resource you're going to exploit that planet for. You could make it a double money planet. You could make it a money and a science planet. You could make it a materials and a science planet. It's up to you. It's wonderful. So those planets are pretty valuable. Now you'll notice here I have a little baby ship, a little interceptor, in my hex. So this will tell you, it'll show you an image of one of the kinds of ships that you have in the hex. And the number will tell you how many ships of your fleet or how many star bases are actually in the hex. But it won't show you each individual one. Now down here, each hex is going to have a point value. Now the starting hexes all start at 3. The middle hex is a 4. You might be wondering, well, Rachel, that's a 3. Why do you have 4 points? One of the species powers, I guess you could say, for Planta, is that because we kind of have this like uber fertile sporing mentality, we get an extra victory point for each hex that we have influence over. And the way that you can tell if you have if you have influence over a hex is this bottom left angle over here. So this has my color in it. I have influence in it. This over here is the Mechanima. This up here is the Eridani. And this isn't influenced by anyone, but you'll notice in the middle there is some sort of structure with a number under it, and it's yellow. That means it's ancients, which are the people that we want to get knowledge from, and apparently according to the game we also want to attack and defeat. So right now they're controlling the space. In order to be able to put influence in a space that has ancient structures or spacecrafts in, you have to defeat them. There is one species, the Draco, that can sort of habitate with the ancients because they're the descendants of the ancients, but nobody's playing the Draco, so don't worry about that. And this question mark up here means that there's some sort of alien artifact here. Now, we'll see this more because hopefully we'll encounter a lot of hexes that have these alien artifacts. I'm a big fan of alien artifacts. Not in real life because I don't believe that they exist on Earth, but I'm a big fan of the explore part of a 4X game. So we've covered exploit and explore. And explore is basically the last part of the hex here. We have these little half of wormholes, and we can travel through them to a new hex and explore and see what's going on there. And that, by proxy, with adding our influence onto the hex, is going to be expanding our civilization as well. So bam, right there, that's 3 of our 4 X's. Explore, expand, exploit. Fabulous. The last one's going to be exterminate. Again, not my favorite one. Not a big fan of combat. So, let's get to thinking about our turn. Now, the way turns work is, so Eridani already took a turn, they did 1 action. And the actions are represented down here by these little parallelograms. Then I'll take one. And then these guys will take one. And then they'll take another one. Do. And then once you pass, you're still in. And I'll show how that works one time when I am not the last one to pass. We'll discuss that a little bit further. So for now, let's discuss a little bit what it takes to make an action. It costs money and influence to take an action. So we've talked about these 3 tracks. We haven't talked about this influence track and what these colors mean. And why one of these is already filled in. Any hex that I have influence in is going to light up one of these little parallelograms. So I only have 1 hex that I have an influence token in. So one of my hexes is full. I need to pay the amount of money above the parallelogram that I end my turn on. So if I do 4 influence worth of actions, I would need to pay $3. 3 money at the end of my turn. And I have 4 in my bank. So that's great. That's why these are all white underneath. Now, remember, I'm going to be producing 3 more at the end of the turn. So this isn't reconciled until after production, which means tentatively, assuming nothing happens to my production up here, I would have 7 money when it's time, when the day of reckoning comes for the influence track, which means tentatively I could come out here to this -7, which is why these 2 are in yellow. I don't have the money for them yet, but I could have it in before the end of the round. These are in red because the game does not see a way, as the state of the game is right now, that I would be able to pay for it. This is a way that I could pay for it as well. You can exchange 3 resources of one type for 1 resource of another. It is not very efficient. I do not recommend doing it, and you will see me do it at least once because I am not the best planner. So that's what these are. So whenever you choose one of these, it ticks you up a space on the influence track. So let's talk a little bit about what these are. We're going to be doing this one first, probably. Expand. So inside, based on your species, the amount of times you can do this action for 1 influence point might vary. So the Mechanima, when they explore, they can only explore 1 hex, and the same is true of the Eridani. But because we are just little spore monsters, we can do it twice for only 1 influence point, which is super great. This influence parallelogram, I don't use very often. It allows you to remove the influence off of 2 hexagons, which would net you a free influence. We'll talk about it if it comes to that. This lets you research 1 thing. So let's go ahead and talk about research. So we know what we use money for, which is the influence track. That's it. That's the only use for money. We use science points to purchase technologies. And you'll notice that these are the ones that were shown on that round 1 placard at the beginning of the round. At the beginning of each round, a number of new technologies will be drawn, in quotation marks, from, will be randomly generated in this game. But in the tabletop version, you draw it like out of an opaque bag. So that the game changes each time you play it. You don't know when the technologies are going to be available, right? So you can't always play the same way. The little white number in the circle at the top tells you how many of that technology are available. And you'll notice that all of them except for that one at the bottom, those are pretty spare, like pretty sparse. So I might actually want to get on one of those right now. In the bottom left-hand corner, it will tell you what action that technology will either take effect during or benefit. So if it's got this little square within a square, it's an upgrade for your ships. And you'll notice that a lot of these are upgrades for ships, which goes towards that exterminate factor. Again, not my favorite part. So we'll talk about those when we talk about our ships in a few minutes. We're going to just bypass those for now. The first ones we're going to talk about are these three. Now, with a keen eye, you'll notice that there are sort of three states that the dots in orbit around planets can be. They can be empty, they can have a little dot, or they can be full. If they are fully lit, that means that the influencing species is producing something from that planet. If they are not lit, that means you're not getting any resources or materials from that planet. You'll notice over here that some of these are lit, but these two with the dots are not lit. And the reason for that, so if we were to click on this guy, we would see the name of our planet, not really important, that there's a standard colony that's populated, and that's why it's filled in. But if we look at this guy, we've got a standard colony populated and an advanced colony that's unpopulated. The reason it's unpopulated is because you need advanced economy in order to build advanced colonies on money planets. The same is true for mining planets and research planets. So that's what these three mean. Now this guy is an orbital. And what an orbital does is you can place it in a hex and it can produce either money or science. It can't produce materials because it can't just conjure it out of thin air. But you could basically make your own money planet, or sounds counterfeity, or make your own science planet in a hex that you control. So that's a technology that you can enact. Okay, so those are the main planet ones I want to say. So this is what's available, and everybody can see this, and everybody can see your own technology track as well. Let's take a look at ours. We're going to start with this starbase, which allows us to build starbases, which is a defensive structure that doesn't move and will stay in a hex. We start with this technology. Now you'll notice that each row is going to correspond to a row in your technology track. For each research type that you have in a row, you will get a discount off of the price of the technologies in that corresponding row to a point. So you'll notice that while this costs 6, max, like 6 is its base cost, I would only have to pay 5 for this one because I'm getting a discount of 1 because I have 1 good in the 7-pointed star row. But this number to the right is the minimum that can go to. If I had 6 researched technologies up here, I wouldn't be able to get this for free. I still need to pay that minimum cost. So the minimum cost of this is 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. But that discount can really add up because you see this price starts at 16 and then you can discount it down to 8, which is pretty cool. So those correspond to the similarly labeled track. And these, if you make it this far on the track, if you get 4 technologies in the 7-pointed star, you'll get 1 point at the end of the game. Make it here, you'll get 2 points. Here you'll get 3. Here you'll get 5. You only score 1 of those, depending on how far you get. And the same is true for these other ones. Excuse me. So, those are technologies. And again, this price is in pink, so that you know you have to pay science. in order to purchase those researches. So we can purchase one research. We can research one technology as an action. One of Mechanima's special abilities is they can do 2 in a turn. But again, they can only explore 1 hex, so checks and balances. Now, we're playing in a 3-player game, so diplomacy is not going to have an effect. So let's go ahead and close that. And ships. So the price of each ship is labeled up here in the upper right corner. And it's green because you spend materials to build ships. Interceptors are your little baby ships, and that's what we have here. This number down here tells you how many you can have. There is a hard limit. So you can only, as this species, you can only have 8 interceptors, 4 cruisers, 2 dreadnoughts, and 4 star bases. Whereas the Iridani, I want to say that they can have 3 dreadnoughts. And again, each species is different, which is one of the cool parts of the game. And it's a lot more common now than it used to be, and I feel like Eclipse was one of those ones that, like, purposefully, I could be making up board game history here. So I'm just going to stop talking because I don't actually know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here, these ones that are lit up are going to be upgrades that you have available for your ship now based on what your society and your civilization know. So every society or civilization starts out knowing how to make little baby guns and little baby computers, little baby drives, little baby batteries, and little baby hulls. And you'll notice that these correspond to icons over here in the research track, which are upgraded versions of them. So let's start with the batteries. Each of our ships, except our starbase, has a size 3 battery. I don't know what's powering it. Nuclear source. On board. And by default has a size 2 sort of battery. I don't know how it's doing it, but each of our ships has it. The starbase is going to have 5 power to it. So that's what this sort of sideways N is going to symbolize. That something needs energy or is providing energy. If it's providing energy, the number will be on top of it. If it needs energy, it'll be small, like this one. This gun, this ion cannon, requires 1 energy. And that's why it has that little symbol there. Now, in the tabletop game, you roll dice during combat, and that's why the guns are color coordinated the way that they are. Yellow guns, you notice it has 1 pip in the middle. On a success, will do 1 point of damage. Orange guns, on a success, will do 2 points of damage, and red guns will do 4 points of damage. Now, their energy consumption rate also increases with its firepower. So while this only costs 1 energy to run, this guy costs 2, consumes 2 energy, and this guy consumes 4. But, I mean, that's pretty great. Like, that's pretty great. Now, a success is a 6. But you can get a computer that will add 1. It basically increases your range of success. So if you have a +1 computer, you can get a success on a 5 or a 6. If you have a +2 computer, you can get a success on a 4, 5, or 6. If you have a +3 computer, I think we all know where this is going, you can get a success on a 3, 4, 5, or a 6. Excuse me. So that makes you better in combat. Now, in order to get into combat, you need to actually move around. And that's where these drives are going to come in. The number of hexes pictured on the drive is how far you can move for 1 move point. So for my species, I'm going to get 2 move points. And what that means is I can move a ship the number of hexes its drive allows it to be moved. And that's for 1 move point. So I could move any of these 3 ships. They all have a move size of 1, right? They have a nuclear drive. They can move 1 sector for each move point. So I could move this guy 1, that's 1 action point, 2, that's my 2nd action point, and then it's done. If I upgrade it to this guy, this fusion drive, I can move 2 hexes for an action point. So I could go 1, 2, that's 1 action point, 3, 4, that's my 2nd action point. I get twice as far. Now it does cost more energy as well. And now when I go and I'm combating people, I not only want to worry about my offensive side, which includes my cannons and my computers, but I also want to worry about my hull and shields. So these little circles are hull. This is, I can take 1 damage per hull piece. So right now, you can see down here, I have a hull strength of 1. In this guy, in my Dreadnought, I have a hull strength of 2. In my Starbase, I have a hull strength of 2. And I don't have a hull strength for my Interceptor. I do think that they start out with 1. So that's in addition to just the ship itself. If you didn't have any hull, like this guy, as soon as he gets hit, he's dead. So, now, shields are going to be like this guy. And whereas computers bolster your rolls, shields are going to negatively impact your opponent's roll. So if I have this shield, it's going to make it so that they have to get a 6 in order to succeed. If they have a +1 computer, it cancels their +1 computer out and they have to get a 6. They'll still, no matter how strong your shield is, even if you have this -2, it doesn't matter because a roll of 6 is always a hit. Just like a roll of 1 is always a fail. So keep that in mind. So let's see. We talked about this. This is a computer. We talked about guns. This is a special gun. It shoots before anybody else, like before any stage of combat. And you roll 2 orange die. And so you could potentially inflict 4 units of damage before combat's even started. Combat is resolved by this, which is initiative. Whoever has the highest initiative is going to go first. Alright, so that's what that is. This is a 9 battery, which is pretty fun. This lets you travel 3 hexes. We're not worried about that guy yet. Computer, shield, gun, battery, D-to-D, double hull, little shield. Okay, good. So, you can build these 4 things. You can also build an orbital, which we talked about, something that'll produce money or science inside a hex, or a monolith, which is 10 resources. You put it in your hex, and it's worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. Now, monoliths are, the research is expensive, and the building itself is expensive. So, good luck with the monoliths. Alright, so on a build action, you can build 2 things in a hex you control. It doesn't have to be your home hex. You can build it anywhere. And you just need to make sure that you have the money, the resources in stock. You can't bank on future resources. Excuse me, like you can with influence. And okay. So let's talk about the ones of these that we didn't mention. This research gives you an extra build action whenever you take this. If somebody, this is a neutron bomb. If somebody came into my hex here and beat my interceptor in combat and took over influence in my hex, I really don't like this part of the game. They would have to basically eradicate my population on the planets and then replace that population with their own. So they would roll against each planet. Now the planets don't have any defenses, so if they get a success in the hit, they clear them off. Now this neutron bomb, if your species has researched it, it will automatically clear the population off of the planets, which is, like I said, I have a bit of a problem with that. This allows you to build star bases, which we talked about. They're these guys, and they're pretty useful. This basically adds an influence space over here. That also, it adds another 0 influence space. So it's basically giving you a free action that you can take. Orbital, la-da-da-do, monoliths. This gives 5 resources for each sector with an artifact symbol on it. I never get it because it's super expensive, and I don't ever really see the robots going for it, but maybe we'll see it in use. This is the same thing as this, only it adds 2 over here. And this, so usually when you're traveling from hex to hex, you need to go through a completed wormhole. This lets you go through a wormhole to a hex that doesn't have a corresponding wormhole half on the other side, which is pretty neat. Okay, so that should be all of the game. We're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to explore, and we're going to explore out yonder. Now, when we click explore, it'll give us the options based on where we have influence and where our wormhole halves are. The 6 hexes around the middle hex where the ancients are the inner sector, and they have a higher percentage of pretty good planets and a 50% chance of there being an ancient ship on there that you would have to fight in order to get the benefit. The middle sector is going to be the sector around the inner sector that connects the players and the robots. And you see that the chances of finding these planets are a little bit smaller, the chances of finding the ancients are a little bit smaller. Then, everywhere else outside of the inner and the middle sectors are outer sectors. And they are limited by player number. So here you can see there's only 10 of the outer sectors left. So I kind of want to get in on these outer sector actions because my civilization gets points based on how like spread out I am. So we're going to take this one. So we choose it. All right, this is a good one. So it's going to give us an economic planet and a mining planet and 1 point, which is really 2 points. And you can either keep this hex or reject it. We're going to keep it, and then we rotate it so that our wormholes are legal, so we could actually make it there. We confirm that, and then we are going to place an influence on here. Now, you'll notice this one lit up because I chose an action to do, which was explore. Now, if I choose to put my influence here, the third one lights up, which is fine. I can pay for it, especially because I'm going to be able to exploit one of our 4 X's, these 2 planets. So I'm going to confirm that, and then it's going to ask where I want to explore my second time. I'm going to explore here. Cool. So we got a wild planet and an ancient artifact. I always say alien even though we're all aliens, so it doesn't even make sense. An ancient artifact. So yeah, we're going to keep this planet, or this hex. We're going to twist that around like that, and we're going to confirm, and we are going to put influence here. Now, we wouldn't be able to access this artifact if we didn't put influence in the hex. Now, what you might be thinking is, at the end of the turn, what happens if you end up here, or here, or here? Are you out of the game? No, but you would either have to trade in resources at this terrible exchange rate in order to get enough money to pay for your influence, or the game will give you the opportunity to remove influence from sectors. It's important to keep in mind, if you remove influence from sectors, you also lose any colonies that you had. So you might end up losing some production. It can get a little bit rough. So you definitely want to keep an eye on where you are influence-wise. Okay, so we're going to confirm this. And we didn't talk about this. I have 4 colony ships. This means I will only be able to colonize 4 planets in a round. Then in round 2, I'll get 4 more colony ships. So it's going to ask us, first our ancient discovery. It's always going to give you the option of 2 victory points or something else. I'm going to take the free resources. I rarely take the victory points. So we're going to take just 5 free science resources. Super cool. And then we have our colony ships that we can deploy. Now we can either deploy them now or we can deploy them at the end of the turn. We're going to go ahead and deploy them. We're going to deploy this one now. And we're going to make this an economic planet. And you see how that bumped us up, because now we're going to be making 10 money instead of 7 money. So that's pretty handy. So now we'll get a couple more actions. And we'll decide about this mining planet later, because I'm going to explore again as another action. And if I can get more money planets, I would much rather do that. So then I swipe here, or drag it to end my turn. This is exactly like the iOS port. So they're exploring, Ooh, and they found an ancient ship here. Now you'll notice that they weren't able to place their influence in this hex because the ancients are in there. And ooh, they did not choose to take the cruiser. So since the ancients are in there, they're unable to put their influence in there, and they're unable to colonize those planets. And they're also unable to claim this ancient's discovery. Whereas the Eridanis, they went into this hex. There were no ancients, but there was an ancient artifact that they were able to take because they put influence in this sector. Now, the sector is only worth 1 point. If their influence gets too high, this is a super great option to remove your influence from to lower it back down again. So let's take a little look at what we're working with over here. We have 9 research too. We don't want to forget about that. I kind of want that gun. I kind of want a new battery too. Okay. We'll deal with that later. We're going to go ahead and explore some more. We're going to explore here. Ooh. So we will keep it because we want to see what that ancient's artifact is. And we're going to put this like this because we're going to explore in this hex as well. Alright, we're going to put our influence there. Now this again is a good choice for us to remove influence from later on. So this is a mining planet, and it's an advanced money planet. I don't know which one I would want to be connected to that. I'm going to do it like that, because this... Am I going to do it like this? Alright, we'll do it like that. And we will place our influence in it. So we can put... So we can either get 6 free resources or 2 victory points. We're going to get the resources. And then we have 2 colonizing ships we can send out. Alright, we'll send them to these planets. And we'll confirm and end our turn. So we only have 1 influence left. On our next turn, we're going to use that to do some research. We'll see what's left in the research track. We'll take some of those. Now you'll notice how many actions Eridani had. And that's because their species things, they start out with a ton of money. A ton of money. And some research, which is pretty cool. But they don't have a lot of production. So they're a bit tricky to play. Okay. We are going to research. That's what I said. The gun or the battery? Gun or battery? Gun or battery? Gun or battery? The gun. So we're going to click research. We're going to research the gun. We're going to confirm it. And now we're at our threshold. So we're going to end our turn. And on our next turn, we're going to pass. I don't like how close they're coming to us. That's great, because then you'll be able to see what pass actions look like. Alright, Eridani passed first, which is fine, because we're going to be going clockwise from them, so we'll be going second anyway. So we're going to pass. We might not actually get to see what pass actions look like. We will. No. Rude. So she just blocked me off from being able to go to the middle. What a rude person. Okay, so these are what pass actions look like. They're not as efficient as whole actions, but they do give you the option to be defensive in case after you've passed, somebody comes into your hex or something, you still have a limited capacity to build or to move or to upgrade your ships. But of course we don't want to do that. It still costs a whole influence action though, or influence space. So we definitely don't want to do that. All right, what's she doing? Finished her turn. She's taking control of that space. Cool. So these are the new technologies that have become available. We're probably going to want to get that battery this turn, because there was only one battery in here. 1 6th level battery. Okay. So we have 7 research points and the battery costs 6. So we are going to research that battery. And then that'll be our turn. Ooh, that is our turn, and that is all of our influence. Yipes. Yipes, 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 yipes. Huh. We're going to have to take influence away from this guy. We're going to explore. Oh, we don't want to be at a deficit already. Worst comes to worst, we can take influence off of these two. Yep, that's what we'll do. Okay. I really wanted to get that battery, though, before somebody else could. Because we need to get a couple more planets under our belt. A couple more production planets. So we'll probably explore up here and then down south. I don't know. I don't think cardinal directions work like that in space. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and explore. We're going to explore this one. Make sure we don't get... Oh, dear. Oh, that looks nice. Well, we're going to take that eventually. And we're going to set it up like this so that we can get there and then get over here. And it'll give us, hopefully, an in over there. Now, you'll notice there's 2 aliens there. And if you click on their ship here, so we can't take control over the sector. If you... Oh, we'll do it in a minute. All right. Let's go here. Yep, that's good. It's got a money planet at least. So we'll keep this. We'll rotate it like so. We will put our influence on it. And we will send colonization ships out there. Now, clicking on me, you get my information of the ship that I have there. Clicking on this guy, the ancient cruiser, we see they've got initiative 2, they have these 2 guns, they have a computer +1, they have a hull, power. We don't care about their power so much, but we know that there's 2 of them there too. So we're just making more and more resources. Next turn, we're going to build some ships and get in there and try to get these planets working for us. As it stands right now, we're going to end our turn, and we're not going to do anything else this round. So she's trading. I guess she's going to make a ship. This guy still has a ton of money left over. So he's exploring. So that ancient ship part that he just got, that triple hull piece, he can put in one ship type. And nobody else has a piece like that. There's only one in the game, and you can only get it from, like, salvaging from an ancient ship. So, as promised, we're just going to go ahead and pass. We said we're in the red zone. Well, we were in the red zone. We're going to remove our influence from this sector when the opportunity presents itself. And then we will be good. We'll definitely be good. All right. I'm still passing. She's passed. Oh, great. We get to see combat. So she's going to be fighting with her ship against the defenders. That's a little bit boring because it doesn't show any kind of die rolls, and so you're just watching these ships kind of like pew pew at each other. What I like about it, though, is that they're both moving forward, but like the galaxy is moving different ways, so it's like they're on 2 different treadmills. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me because it's the split screen. I know they're constantly moving at each other, and to animate a dogfight would have been ridiculous. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. What's going on here? So, she got 2 of these victory shields, which they can range anywhere from 1 to 4 points. And when she draws them, she draws them based on how many ships she destroys, and these are for like the different types of ships or star bases that the other players have. This is for ancients. This is the ancient base in the middle, and you get +1 for battle. So she's drawing 2 of them, and it's, you can see it says here max 5. Now, what does this mean? Okay, so what this means for you as the game player is you want obviously those 4-point tiles. And the more you engage in combat, the more success you have in combat, the more ships you destroy, the more of these tiles that you can draw, the better it is for you because you have a higher chance of getting those high value tiles. Now you're going to choose 1 from the ones that you drew. And you have a limited array of these reputation tiles that you can keep. So you'll keep them face down on this array. Once your array is full, and we'll look at this after we do our first combat and see where these go. Once your array is full, you can, if you choose a number that's higher than one of the numbers in your array, you can replace it and you put that back in the bag. So the idea is sort of get that reputation going. At the end, hopefully you'll have a fairly high level of reputation. And that'll add towards your final score. Remember, anything with a shield is going to be victory points. Now, we've all passed, combat has happened, so it's telling me, hey, you see this nonsense up here? You need to pay for this. Would you like to exchange some resources? And I'm going to politely decline, because I'm going to remove influence from this hex down here. And you notice, boom, by removing that, it puts me right where I need to be. Alright. Now Mechanima also is over. And they're thinking. Alright, so I get to go first this turn. Doo-ba-da-doo. And now this explains that shield thing and the reputation tokens explains why the victory points down here might vary. So we know that she's got 1 tile, right? So that tile could be a 1, which would put her at 12 points. It could be a 2, 13, 3, which would put her at 14, or it could be a 4, which would put her at 15 points. We know her score ranges from there to there. We know this Eridani guy, similar situation, ranges from 10 to 15. I don't have any tiles, so my score is just a straight up 12, and I'm okay with that. So this is round 3. After we finish this, we'll be a third done with the game, which is kind of mind-boggling. Now, where you'll be able to see your tiles are going to be down around here, I want to say. I don't know. I don't ever actually look for them because the game here, the computer game, of course, is going to manage that for you. It's not gonna bone you. Okay, so we have 2 actions. We're gonna build for 1 action. We're gonna just make. Oh, we need to make our dreadnoughts better. Cool. We're gonna take 3 actions. We're gonna build. We're gonna upgrade, and then we're gonna move. So, first things first, we're going to build. We're going to build in this hex because it's adjacent to where we want to go. We're going to build a dreadnought, and we're going to build another dreadnought. So now you see how it says we have 3 ships here? We're going to click OK. We click on this, it'll tell us what ships we have here. We have 1 interceptor, we have 2 dreadnoughts. Grand. We're going to go ahead and end our turn. Now it looks like everybody is kind of at this point that happens kind of mid-game where you're still building your economic engine. You're still building to where you can have a lot of influence points going on at once. And you're not going to be taking that many actions in your 3rd round here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to upgrade our ships. We're going to put these new fancy guns. So I can put 1 there, and you'll notice I still have a free, hang on. I'm going to put it here, which gives me I'm full up now, just straight full up. And I'm going to increase this. Now, what this will do for any dreadnought I ever build from here on out, I will have these blueprints are what is used to build my dreadnoughts. And existing dreadnoughts, this is what's on them. I have, with my upgrade action, because it's got these 2 squares, I can do 2 upgrades. So I did them both to my dreadnoughts because that's what I'm going to be using in combat this turn. Now the next time that I upgrade something, so you see like Machinima, she did a hull upgrade to the dreadnought, and she's putting another one in the cruiser. You can spread them out like that. It doesn't matter. She's got 3 because that's one of her special abilities, because she is half machine, and I kind of love her. She was my go-to one for a while until I realized what the plants did. And I love her, and her artwork in the new Eclipse kind of drives me a little bit bonkers because they kind of softened her up, whereas I feel like she looks like super awesome right now. Okay, so our last action. We've built our ships, we've upgraded them. Let's go ahead and move them in here and get to getting these ancients gone. The ancients will never advance on you, which is good. They're not like the barbarians and Clash of Cultures or Civ or anything. Alright, so we're going to have our first combat. I'm so nervous. They're going to have a combat too. This guy shouldn't engage in combat with this guy. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pass. We're going to watch their combat first. It's a pretty ship. Both of them, I mean, all of the art, like the design for the different species ships, like I really enjoy. I feel like they're very in keeping with the species themselves. So she just destroyed that poor little ancient. Alright. Oh dear. So they have initiative on us. So they got to fire first. We're going to go ahead and click attack. Pew, 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 pew. We got no hits. Cool. It's not great. This might be a long conflict. We need to get a computer. Hey, there we go. 1 massive hit that we will give to that guy. Another hit. We'll destroy that dude. And it tells you down here what they'll have. So they have the 2 like single barrel guns. We have 2 single barrel and 1 of the double damage on each one. So hopefully, just hit him once. And luckily he's missing a lot. This could go a lot. Well, of course, now I get like 4 hits at once. This one I killed both of them. It doesn't matter. That's the way my little dreadnought pilots, my little plant pilots just learned the ropes. So I got to draw 3. I killed 2 ancient ships and I won the battle. So I got to draw 3. I'm going to be keeping that 3 pretty clearly, I think. And I am going to put influence in this. Yeah, I'm going to put influence in this sector. Hey, I was just talking about how I needed a computer. Yeah. So this is a +3 computer, which is a no flippin' joke. And we will use it in the place of one of those guns. That's going to add 3 to my die rolls. So my dreadnoughts are not anything to mess with right now. Ooh, that would have been nice too. But she just took the points. So we are going to send colonizing ships to each of those places. We're going to remove our influence from here, I think. Because we are too short. I'm not going to do 6 resources for that. No. So we're going to remove. Now here we just have a mining planet because this economic planet is advanced. So it's not going to affect us too negatively. She's going to have to take care of some stuff. Now I like these 2 planets because they're worth 2 points each. So I kind of want these to be mine and not hers anymore. Oh, this just became available. That's expensive and fun. So let's see. Neutron bomb. That guy thinks he's going somewhere. You see how limited he is with actions. Yipes. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to explore. We're going to explore right here. Because I would like, if that had, oh, it doesn't have ancients in it. I'm going to reject it. Wait, this might just be the last one. There we go. I'm going to keep that one. There we below. And we'll do, yeah, that's fine. We'll set it up like that. We can't put influence in it because the ancients are there, but we're just going to pop on over and take that over this time. We might even send one dreadnought there and one dreadnought there. Take over both of them? I do have 2 influence. Tempting, tempting, tempting. I don't want to spread myself too thin. I mean, it's still only round 4. I gotta start thinking about building up some star bases too. Now, one of the great things about this game and the way that it works and these interceptors is if someone were to come and try to get into my civilization, they can only get as far as this. Or right now, they can only get as far as this guy. Because as soon as you encounter a ship, I'm pointing with my pen at the screen, you can't see it. As soon as they encounter a ship of that civilization, they have to stop. So that's the benefit of interceptors. You're kind of sacrificing them a little bit. So we're gonna move our dreadnought here. I don't want Mechanima. I don't have that many resources. I don't think they're gonna come and get me here. So I'm gonna move this guy here as well. I want to make sure I really stick it to those ancients. For not liking combat, I can sound kind of aggressive sometimes. I don't. It makes me uncomfortable. I make myself uncomfortable. We're gonna go ahead and pass. Because we want to save this influence point for when we defeat the ancients here so we can claim that hex. And we are going to want to start fortifying because people are going to be really strong, or strong-ish, by the end of the 9th round when everybody's kind of at a little bit of a scramble for points. So let's go ahead and pass. What I do like is that, oh, let's do this combat. Pew pew. Nice try, buddy boy. I got 2, because remember I have my +3 computer. Well, I have a +4 computer, so 2s, everything hits, basically. It's a +4, and it got to be, it's a 3 + 4. It's a 3 + 4. So yeah, we'll just kill that guy. And I got 2 2s, so I'll keep one of those 2s pretty clearly. I am going to put influence in here. 5 research. Yeah, I'll take 5 research. And we'll get a money planet. We'll turn that wild planet into a money planet. So we're going to make some more research. We're going to make some more money. Perfect. And that pushed us up enough to where we're going to be able to cover for the next round, which is great. I'm going to take a quick drink and try not to be gross. Okay. I like this. I like what's going on here score-wise. Alright, let's see what happens. I mean, it is only round 5. I'm not going to get too excited. I kind of want to buy that. Take a look at where we stand. So we could conceivably do 3 things. We got a ton of resources, which is good. Kind of want to take this guy over, but I feel like that's what he's priming up for. So we're going to move down here, but I'm going to set up a base here. The double hole still isn't ready. Makes me sad. I like this. I like this, because remember, this basically will give me 2 more actions. Huh. There's 2 of these left. They take up a lot of space too. This movement thing wouldn't be bad. Actually, don't hate any of these. And I want this. You know what? And I have this, and I want that. I want everything here. We'll just say that. I want everything here. Alright, I'm gonna have to prioritize what I want there. First, let's build here. We're gonna build a starbase. And here, we're gonna build a starbase. Because I managed to streamline my civilization pretty well. It's going to be hard for anybody else to get in here. So I'm just going to shore up the defenses up here. And then we'll go from there. Man, everybody's getting these things. That's very worrisome. I'm going to need to defend myself against that. Inevitably. Alright, let's research. So my problem with the research is the one that I really want is this. It's the most expensive. But it's going to bring the cost of these down. Well, not that one. That one is unavailable. This would bring the cost of this down. I feel like it, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm taking it. I'm getting my actions now. So that gives me 2 more actions, which is woohoo, fantastic. We are going to move our dreadnoughts down here. Move from here. Dreadnought here. Move from here. Dreadnought here. We're going to leave our little starbase there. And, They're not even passed. So I could really, you know what, I'm going to redo that. I'm going to move one of the dreadnoughts here. And then I'm going to move the other one up here. We'll call that a day. Ugh. 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 See, I don't agree with that choice because basically you're saying if you don't get hits on those initial shots that you take, I mean, you're in effect crippling yourself for the rest of the time. Okay, so I probably should upgrade. I desperately want that hull upgrade. go ahead and just upgrade the guns on these guys. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to pass on our next turn. Because I take this one, I'll be at 15. That's 3 more, I'll be able to cover that. And I take this, yeah. I'm going to need 2 influence for when I take over those 2 things. No, I don't have neutron bombs. But I got successes. I'm sorry, everybody. Alright. 1 hit. Come on, computer. Oh my god. Don't hit me twice. Alright. That would have made me incredibly angry if it had hit me twice. Oh my god. Are you flipping kidding me? Now, even though I lost that battle, I do still get to draw. Yeah, I am gonna influence that sector. Golly. So annoyed. Well, next time I'll just have to build another dreadnought. It does slow down my plan. Still no hull upgrade. That's not great. It's not where we want to be. Alright, so they got the little baby version of what we got. Where are we at? 10? This costs 12. So we're probably going to wait on that for a little while. But I can get this, which is good because I have 1, 2, 3 economic planets. Yep, I'm going to get this research. Oh yeah, I got a crap ton of time. So we're going to take this upgrade. And it should ask us if we want to colonize now. It might be an end of turn thing. We'll be able to colonize those 3 places, which will be super great. Alright, let's build a thing. We're going back. We're going back for that ancient. I'm going to go ahead and build a starbase here. Oh no. So, since they moved in here, I'm trying to remember what order combat would resolve in. I feel like we would have to fight each other, and then whoever is left standing would have to fight the ancient. Daggum. I'm not in any way, shape, or form prepared to fight this stupid thing that's all like, it's all 4 pushing. Dang it. Because it's 8. It's potentially 8 damage. I can't do it. Now what I could do is I could try to just cut them off. You know what? Let's explore. Let's do that. Maybe there'll be some nice alien up here. Hey, an alien of my own. And we will not be sharing a hex with you. A wormhole. My very own wormhole. And then we'll take this one. And we shall keep that as well, because it is a money planet. I don't really need... Because I just got that technology. I really only need one more money planet. But I have all these wild planets I can convert. Now I'm thinking with thought. Oh, I don't have influence down here. Okay. We'll just go ahead and do that. We'll resolve the other part later. We're going to move that dreadnought up yonder. Yeah, okay. Alright. Moving right along. Move. Well, hang on. Yeah. I was gonna make like some other little ship, but I'm not that bothered about it. Past. Past. We shall pass. Alright. Let's go, little one. Let's dance. Oh, dang it. That's not great. That's not a great start. Well, that's good. Phew. Phew. Good. Okay. Yay, a 4. That's great news. One. Yep. It only takes one of those 4 to hit. And the battle's done. They don't even get to do anything. Initiative doesn't even matter. Okay. I am going to take this sector. Yes. Whoa! This is a super drive. And I am going to take it and put it on my dreadnought. Which means my dreadnoughts can now move 4 hexes. I was going to... I wasn't that... I didn't mind. That didn't... Well, it didn't matter. Oh no, I used up all my colonization ships, didn't I? Yep. That's okay. There's still no hull upgrade. I'm very nervous about their ridiculous early shooters. I might have to get shields. This one consumes 1 energy. I could put it in lieu of a hull. Should I just double down on hulls? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in a good place though. Alright. So, what do we want to do? I'm not particularly worried about anyone taking this guy over. I should explore. Let's explore. Buy ourselves a little bit of time. I'm going to take this one just so nobody else can. Yep, I'm going to keep that. And make it so that he can't come in. And I will put my influence in it. Thank you very much. And we'll do this one too. Ooh. And we will put our influence in it just for just so I can get its bonus. It's round 7. 30. It'll be producing 27. I won't have to worry about money anymore. My cheapest technology I don't already have. Of course I can't see what it is. It might just be neutron bombs. You know what? I'll get it. Yeah. We'll just put that there. So that'll give me even more of a discount on these guys up here. Yep. Cool. Okay. So what we're looking at here is this is going to be our last money planet, because now this is a hard limit. Like I can't do any more unless I were to get that other technology, this one that's not there right now. And this is as many money planets as I can have. So what I'm going to do is make these research planets. Bump up the old interplanetary research. That's not great. They're building up. Alright. Now we have a ton of money. So we are going to take a build action. I'm not worried about up there. I'm worried about these 2 gateways to my civilization. So I'm going to put another starbase there. And then here, I'm going to put a cruiser. I'm going to want to upgrade that cruiser at some point. I'm going to take this over. I do believe I'm going to do that. So, we're going to move. Oh no, those are 2. Oh no, there's nobody there. Is that a dreadnought? It certainly is. That guy can move super far. He's going to go right there. And hope the Iridani don't come down and attack him. We'll move the other dreadnought up there just in case. Cool. And then we're going to pass on our next turn because we definitely want to have the influence for that. Oh, jeepers creepers. How's that even possible? There is a variant that you can play in this port as well that doesn't allow those guns, those like pre-shooting guns, which I've never seen. If the hull was better, I wouldn't be so gosh darn nervous about it. I'm just gonna have to set up crazy long chain of defense for myself. So I'm still passing. Uh-oh. Oh, no, that's just me firing on their planets. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Alright, so now she's fighting this big old guy here. Now he's just got a very strong hull, but some very baby guns. So, but it doesn't matter. She's got those obscene dreadnoughts. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Now what I want to do on my turn is I want to move somebody in here just to engage her so that she can't come after me. That's a good idea. I like that idea. So we're going to take this mining. Good, I go before her. Still no hull upgrade. This is obscene. Did we already have it? And I just didn't. So no, nobody has it. It just hasn't come out. That's some nonsense. Ooh, monoliths. Monoliths? That's not a bad idea. Iridani? I like that idea. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to sacrifice this cruiser. Going up here. And we're going to move... Do we want to sacrifice a dreadnought? Keep these guys at bay? Probably should have built first. It's fine. We'll sacrifice a dreadnought. It's no big deal. Because we have a ton of resources. So, I think we're going to buy the technology from Monoliths. That was a good idea, Iridani. Completely forgot about that. Because I could build 4 monoliths, and that would be 12 points before the end of the game. So I'm going to do that. Alright. Let's research monolith power. Yep. And then our last turn will be building 2 monoliths. And then next turn, we'll build some more monoliths. So it'll just be what we do. Okay. Usually I don't have enough resources to justify building monoliths. But at the risk of jinxing it, which is not even something I really... I'm not superstitious enough to believe in jinxing something. But I think I'm doing fairly okay this game. We're going to build. Oh, I should research an additional build action. That would have been cool. Down here, we're going to build a monolith because it's pretty safe. And we're going to build a monolith here. Cool. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. Upgrading that cruiser, huh? She's got a ton of actions, too. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pass. Because we have to. We are maxed out. It makes me very uncomfortable. She's only got 6 resources, though. I mean, has she already built those ships? No. I mean, she's going to get points for destroying my ships. Cool. I'm not upset about that. I mean, she's got a lot of points. Alright. Oh. That's enough. That's enough to get me. I got a 1, which I'm probably going to throw back. Yep. The hulls never came out all game. Okay, so what I need to do this turn is keep them from infringing on my stuff. This dreadnought knocked is good here. The starbase is good here. Do I want to upgrade the starbase at all? There's not really much I can upgrade it with. mean, it's going to cut down some of my points, but I'm going to make up for that in Monoliths. Nope, did not want to move. I can build 2 monoliths. Then I can do some research. What's wrong with me? Okay, I'm going to build a monolith here. And we're going to build a monolith here. And we're going to confirm that and end our turn. Research track wise, I could get another point if I got another one from that row. I guess I could get this gun. And then, do I have enough power for it? Yep. I can replace it there and there. Sure. Let's do that. Sure. Why not? I can't afford any more. I can't afford to build anything else. That'll be my last option. And at this point, it's just a matter of letting the machine go its way. Okay. We'll add 1 to the Dreadnought and 1 to the Starbase. Beautiful. Alright, let's see what happens. These worry me, but I feel they're going to get stopped by my Starbase. There's no other way she can get into my stuff. Yeah. Oh, my Starbase is so cute. Little fuzzball. Yep. Poor baby. Bye, baby. You played your role. Oh, my people. My people. Surprise, surprise. I got a 1. The only consolation is that she's probably getting 1s now, too. Okay, I only got 1 of those 4s. She probably got more of those. Bye, little Dreadnought. You also served your purpose. Those bombs make me so sad. Now, what's good about them taking over those sectors, too, is it lowers my influence. Because I went down on money production during all that nonsense. Now, I know that that's going to swing... Shoot. Swung me down 6 points. Oh, huzzah. And I unlocked some achievements. What a grand day. So yeah. This makes me happy. Not in like a schadenfreude, well, kind of in a schadenfreude way, I guess. The Iridani, I always do the worst playing. So the ones that start out with all that money, and I don't think I ever planned the first round right. And so it's nice to see that the robot doesn't do as well. She was a fearsome competitor. But the feral spores are victorious. So that's Eclipse. It's fun. On Steam, it has some. Its review status is listed as mixed, and I think that's because it is such a faithful adaptation of the tabletop game. It doesn't feel like a video game or a computer game. It feels like a tabletop game. Tabletop games can't have the complexity that a video game is going to have. They're going to be pared down because you don't have that computing power. You don't have that time to sit there and do all this stuff. So it's not as complicated as like a space video game that's designed to be a video game that's a 4X game. And I wonder if people who gave it mixed reviews or negative reviews assumed that it was going to be like a more sprawling, like 4X game, like an Elite Dangerous or something. Because it's not. So, clearly. And as far as it being a satisfactory digital port, 100%. I adore it. I think it's great. And especially because the tabletop game can get a little bit fiddly. There are so many moving parts. Like all the hexes, all the little ships, all of the research. These are all little chits. These are all little chits on your little thing. These are all little chits on your board. Like, these are little, like, peg things and resources and little bit, like, I'm sure you can imagine how just, like, chitty the game can be. And, so it's nice to have this system sort of manage that for you. But playing in person is also, it's like any video game or board game. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you have a good day.